welcome all of you. Karibuni sana, for this is Royal Youth Mentorship Program. Tonight, our speaker is Wahome Ngari. Karibu sana, Bwana Wahome. You will finish the remaining part of the introduction as you move along. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthew, and good night, everybody. Good evening. How are you guys? I like getting a thumbs up as a way of response so that I can know I'm not speaking to my screen. If you hear my voice, give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Nikras. Thank you, Jadi. Thank you. Yes, I hear I'm not alone. Excited to be with you this evening. Like Matthew has said, my name is Wahome Ngari. I'm the Chief Executive at Citadel Consulting, and I'm the founder of the Personal Finance Academy. And I'll be wearing the Personal Finance Academy hat tonight because I spend my days and nights helping people to evade the rat race. So if you've been running the financial rat race, I think tonight we are together and we will actually see how we can do this. We actually help people have more confidence in managing their finances. So we have structured financial literacy programs that help people to acquire financial intelligence, because once you have financial intelligence, dealing with money and money issues gets easier, and then you're not going to have a challenge. And I'm happy that Matthew has invited me tonight so we can discuss something that's very close. People ask, how can I invest in myself so that I'm able to make more money? So the discussion today is investment, but I want you to know we're not going to talk about investing in shares, investing in plots. We're not going to look at investing in business. We're actually going to look at investing in ourselves. And by a show of hands, give me a thumbs up if you think money is great. If you think money is great, yeah, you actually work for it. People don't think money is great. I'm surprised. Okay, how many of us love money? Maybe that's a better question. If you love money, thank you. I see a lot of responses, and thank you, everybody. We are going to look at issues to do with money, because a lot of things that you need to do in your life, you need money. We say money is the currency of life because it determines very many things in our life. Determines where we live, what we eat, what our children do, where they go to school. All those things are determined by money. And that's why we're going to see, how do I invest in myself so that I can actually have more, and maybe more in what I'm doing today and having other income streams. That's what we are going to be looking at tonight. Because as I don't know what area you are in and what you do for a living, but I know we are all looking out for money here and there, because as the currency of life, it is very important. And I do not know what determines your current, what your current assignment is and what determines the incomes you have. And I want to say, depending on what you do, there are 5 or 6 determinants, and you might want to check yourself out. What determines how much money you make? And the first one is amount of personal control. How much personal control do you have over yourself? And when you're looking at investing in yourself, we're going to have to look at how much control can you give yourself by investing in yourself. For certain, the clerk does not have more self-control than the general manager. So the senior you go, or the way you have your own business, you have more personal control. The other one is time, how you utilize your time. Where I come from, we say time is money. And God has given all of us 24 hours. The question is very simple. What's your rate per hour? What's your rate per hour? If you visit a doctor and they see you maybe for 5 to 10 minutes, they will charge you anything from 3,000 to 5,000, depending on how they are rated. So if a doctor is charging 4,000 for 10 minutes, and they are able to see 6 people in 1 hour, then eventually the doctor's rate is 24,000 shillings per hour. What's your rate per hour? If you work out the amount of money you make per month, and you divide it by the amount of time you work, you get your rate per hour, and then you can see, can I be able to make more per hour? The other consideration is what profession or what economic sector you're operating in, and that's why we change careers. Sometimes you get trained for one thing, but eventually you find you would have to sing solidarity forever, and you don't get money, and that is why sometimes you change into another career. The fourth consideration is obviously the level of education or the level of knowledge, and you're going to discuss that at length. And I have no certain People who have a given level of knowledge earn some money, but people who don't have it cannot actually be able to earn. The fifth one is your skills and how you utilize your skills. And we'll be talking about that, the skills you have. And of course, the other one is the networks you have. Your networks determine your net worth. And we're going to talk about that in detail. And the last one is the amount of money you have. It's very interesting. Money loves moving to where there's more. Your Bible is very clear. Those who have little, the little will be taken away and given to those who have more. So ensure you have more, otherwise the little you have will be taken away. And this is how we live as a society. While the guys in the posh estates buy water per unit, which is 1,000 liters, which they buy for what, 100 shillings? And that is 10 cents per liter. The poor guys in the slum who have very, very little money, they buy it in jerry cans, and they actually buy a 20-liter jerry can for 20 shillings. So they are buying it for 1 shilling per liter. They pay 10 times more. The more you have, the more you get. Now, because you are the greatest investment, we want to ask ourselves, how can I invest in myself so that I earn more? And as I go there, the world is going to pay you greatly for only 4 things. Watch out the 4. The first one the world is very happy to pay you for is your time. That's why we say time is money. And if you are good with your time, if you manage your time, if you can multitask and do many things, you earn more money per hour. The second thing the world is happy to pay you and has no limit of what it can pay you is actually your intellect, your creativeness, your innovativeness, how you think differently. The people who solve big problems with a simple solution, they get paid handsomely. The third way the world will pay you greatly is for your energy, in fact, your body energy. If you think about our marathoners, and I know now they are not running, when they are actually running, or you think about footballers and everybody else, all they do is they manage their body energy. And within 2 hours, as you cheer them, you hear a guy has made 65 million shillings in those 2 hours. That's the body energy that we can. And the last one, the world is going to pay you for your money. And I think that's very clear for you, why the world will pay you for your money. Now, for us to be able to make more money, it becomes necessary for us to ask ourselves, what can I do to be able to make a lot more money in what I'm doing and what else I have? And what we are going to do is to focus on what are the areas that I can be able to invest in and make more money. That area you can invest in is called human capital. Human capital. And human capital has 2 components only. One component is called intellectual capital, and the other component is called social capital. So we have two components, intellectual capital and social capital. Okay. Now those 2 components make human capital, and that's what the world is paying you for. Now let's dig into intellectual capital, because this is what you have: internal growth, something that nobody can take away from you. And there are 3 things that fall under intellectual capital. We're going to discuss them in detail. The first one is knowledge. And knowledge is the ability to gather and use information. Knowledge is the ability to gather and use information. So if you build your knowledge, and you're going to see when you build your knowledge, how you make money. We're looking at whether it's academic, professional, whether it's working knowledge, and I'll speak more about that. That's one area of your intellectual capital. Now, the other one is skills. And skills is the ability to use your knowledge to do something. You have knowledge, but the ability to do something with your knowledge is what we call a skill. And that is the other area we can actually be able to invest in. So you invest in knowledge, you invest in skills. The third component of your intellectual capital is what is called attitude. Your attitude is your paradigm, your outlook, your positivity. What keeps you positive in a negative world? What builds your self-esteem? What builds your confidence? This world does not like people who are cowards. And if you are courageous, if you are positive, you're going to attract more positive forces where you are. So this is the ability to stay positive in a negative world, the ability to generate positive energy, because positive energy attracts positive responses. When you're positive, you're going to attract positive responses. Now, your knowledge, your skills, and attitude is what is called the intellectual capital. And that is the one where I come from. They say, nobody can tunya you. Nobody can take it away from you. Once you know something, nobody can stop you from knowing it. Once you have the knowledge, you have the skill to do something, nobody can ever take it away. Once you have the attitude, you can actually scale any mountain. And so it is important to build those. And there's been a lot of research around that area. When there are issues in a country and things don't work out and people end up in a refugee camp, like Sudanese or Somalis have ended up, the people with the intellectual capital never stay in the refugee camp. The intellectual capital helps them to get the next move and they move away. And that is why it is important for us to focus on that. And we are going to focus on that very, very shortly. Now, the other component of human capital is social capital. You can have intellectual capital, but you cannot make money alone. So you need other people. And that is why this is ability to get along with others. And so one component of social capital is teamwork, ability to work with others, ability to synergize, having the emotional intelligence to deal with other people, nurturing relationships, because no man is an island. And no matter how good you are, if you cannot work with other people, you will not go anywhere. You could be the best footballer, but if you cannot work with the team, they will keep you in the bench. In fact, next season, they'll sell you. Hey, watu Arsenal wako area. Maybe I should be talking to watu wa Liverpool. You're very patient. We have waited for 30 years and we have it now. So we're looking at teamwork, ability to work with others, and we're going to see how do we invest there. And the last one in social capital is networks, enlarging your footprint, being present in many places through other people. You're looking at having impact and influence, having a bigger reach, having linkages, and having leverage. Because in this country where I live, it is not what you know, it is who you know. So we need to build that, what we call network. So if you look at them now, there are 5. We've talked about knowledge, we talked about skills, we talked about attitude, we talked about teamwork, and we talked about networks. Now let's see how we invest in each of these. And if you have a question, please hold your question. I'll not be long, I'll be able to get back to you. So we are going to look at how to build both the intellectual and social capital. And it doesn't matter whether you are an employee or you're self-employed. It is going to enable you to make more money in what you are currently engaged in. And it is also going to help you to identify and initialize other viable income streams. COVID has proved to us, one income stream is very dangerous. People can actually write you off easily. So you need multiple income streams. So we are looking at how we are going to invest our resources so that we can actually be able to identify what we can do better. And let's start with knowledge. And I have defined knowledge as your ability to gather and use information. So in summary, knowledge is usable, not useful, usable information. I know in my primary school, they taught me the distance between the sun and the earth, or the sun and the moon. I have never used it. But the geography teacher told me about red cotton soil, about loam soil, about volcanic soil. When I'm buying a plot, I am careful what soil I'm looking for. So that is useful information. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what knowledge do I need so that I can be able to make money in what I am doing? Or what knowledge do I need so that I can be able to do something else that I am not able to do? Make more from what I have. So we're looking at knowledge, and I can divide knowledge into 3 categories. There is academic knowledge, there is professional knowledge, and there is working knowledge. Let's look at academic knowledge. Academic knowledge is very easy to define. This is the one you study, they give you a certificate, they give you a diploma, they give you a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctoral degree. So you have to go to school and it costs money. And it is important to build our academic knowledge. I do not belong to the school that says degrees don't work. I have a number of them. And if they don't work, then I would have seen. But I've seen them work. Let me tell you, if you're a mid-level manager and you want to go to top management, your MBA is not a choice. That's how you're going to beat the other guys. Okay? If you're actually looking out to be a supervisor and you do not have that bachelor's degree, you might have to look for it. So it is important to think about academic knowledge. If you're looking to broaden your mind and you have the capacity, start working for your doctoral degree. By the way, even when you're in consultancy like me, when you send an invoice and you have started at the start with doctor, or you have ended up with PhD, people don't challenge your fee. If you're a junior accountant and you're wondering how to become the chief accountant, you must study accounting. So it is important. It will cost you money, but it puts you in the right place in the professional space, It puts you in the right place in the professional space. It gets people to be able to recognize you as a professional, as peers, and you're going to find it easier to go up the rank if you are a professional. So that is professional or technical knowledge. I've given you an example. You can do CPA, you can do ACCA, you can become a chartered banker, you can be a chartered insurer, you can be a professional procurement person, you can be a professional IT person. Sometimes it's not what you say, it is the papers. We in the private sector, when you're pitching for jobs, they want the professional qualification. And I'm sure you guys, you listen to the story in Kirinyaga, and that was a key thing that people had issues with. The third component of knowledge is working knowledge. Now, there are things you might need to know when you come to a new business arena, when you come to a new market, when you come to a new trade. You must need to know something, what is called the working knowledge. If you move to an organization, you might need to know the organization structure, the organization politics. If you're in business and Matthew is the chief accountant of a company, before you see Matthew, you must do some research so that you know that company. If you're bidding, you must have some working knowledge. That's what we are calling working knowledge. And for that working knowledge, sometimes you do research, sometimes you go into the market and look for things. You might need to go for a short course. You might need to go to a class, a seminar, a workshop. That's why we do pupillage. If you want to become a lawyer, it is not what you got in law school. It is actually the pupillage you get when you're practicing. We're looking at, that's why we hire a tutor to be able to help us. That's why sometimes you hire a coach. You want to go to business. Business is not going to ask you whether you have an MBA or whether you actually have a professional qualification. There are basics, functionalities in the business. And that's why Matthew has talked about a coach, a business coach. You can use the YouTube. You can actually have working knowledge like Diego, throwing the javelin and learning it on YouTube. Or you can do ebooks, you can do tapes, you can do many different things. It is going to cost you money. That's how you build your knowledge. The question for us tonight, what knowledge do you require? Is it academic? Is it professional? Or is it working knowledge? When you get knowledge, you have the ability to gather and use information. You have usable information. It is going to make money for you, and you can actually make more because you can get a promotion or your business is going to expand. If you're coming into a new business area and you don't understand it very well, you need working knowledge. That's where knowledge fits in. And if you actually accept what I'm saying is, ask yourself the question, do I need academic knowledge, professional knowledge, or working knowledge? Because you will need any of that. Now, it's going to cost you money. That's why we are talking about investment. And when you invest in it, it is going to pay. And it's going to pay you for a lifetime. It might take you 4 years to do a bachelor's degree. It will pay you for a lifetime. It may take you 2 or 3 years to do a master's degree. It pays you for a lifetime. If you do a PhD, by the way, then you actually one day end up a professor at the university. Your retirement age moves from 65 to 75. And you become a consultant all your life. You'll be a consultant. So that's how you make money. But don't forget working knowledge. Base kule mashinani. You know, when we say mashinani things are different, you need to understand mashinani. So that's knowledge. And I'm sure you have ticked the box where you think it is necessary for you. Now, the other area we need to focus is skills. Skills is the ability now to use the knowledge. What you need to personally become better in making money and managing the things you have. We are looking at possible skills. And the skill sets that you require might be very wide. You might need to be a public speaker. You make reports. And let me tell you, watu kiherehere get promotion quickly. You check your workplace if you have ever worked. That guy who was an accountant, a junior accountant, who was able to make a good presentation to the board, he ended up as the chief accountant faster than the guys who were more technical. So public speaking is not a joke. When you present and people hear what you're saying, you will actually go up the rank faster. So you can look at public speaking as a skill. You can look at driving as a skill. It is important when you pitch for a job and you actually know how to drive. That becomes important. Could be driving a car, could be driving a computer. We're looking at sales skills. It doesn't matter where you are. If you cannot sell, you will have a challenge. If you're in a private business, you are practically selling every day. When you're in any other business, even when you go to an interview, you are selling yourself. We're looking at negotiating skills. This world, everything is negotiating. From the person you marry to your children, to your neighbors, it is negotiating. That's a skill. There's a skill called self-management. keeping time, being tidy, doing things right, being honest. That's a skill in itself. Like cooking is a skill, people skills, playing a piano is a skill, a computer. Storytelling, we are in Africa. Every time I'm invited and tell people, let me tell you a story. You've never heard the silence. People have stories in Africa. So you might get that skill. Decision making is a skill. Leadership is a skill. So those skills are necessary, because once you have the skill, you have the same education level with somebody, but you have a skill, you will be able to outsmart them. You'll be able to go up faster. Now, where do you get skills? You invest in books, in seminars, you hire a coach, you go for a short course. You might need to go back to school, register in a program, go to YouTube, like I told you about a year ago, okay, the internet, look for a tutor, look for a peer, get time to practice, get time to do something. I've seen an interesting one of young men. They are mid-level managers in an organization, but they learned to play golf when they were young kids. And before we got COVID, they used to go to the golf course, and they would actually teach new entrants in the golf course how to play golf. Now they are still doing their golf, they are doing networking, and they are making money. What's the skill you have? What are you doing with it? How are you making money with the skill? How much more money can you make with that skill? You tell all your friends jokes and they laugh. Next time when they're looking for an MC, can you stand and say, I actually can make it? And you'll be surprised. MCs go home with an extra check. So that is skill. I don't have enough time to elaborate, but I'm sure you've gotten the idea. Now, the other one is attitude. I have been involved many times in hiring. And what do we say when we are hiring people? We hire attitude, we train knowledge and skills. Attitude is very key, determines your attitude. And this is what makes you to remain positive in a negative world. This is what gives you self-esteem. This is what keeps you motivated. You have a self-worth. You have a mind that no matter how bad things are, I can do it. Because of COVID, some people are giving up. But this is no time to give up. This is time to have that inner drive that tells you there's something more that can be done. And that's what attitude is all about. And attitude is something that comes from a nice statement. Love thyself. Love yourself. Self-care. Care for yourself. Feel good about yourself. Care for yourself. Dress yourself well. Go to the gym. Look nice. Work out on your figure, if not your shape. Okay. Yeah, I know you can have all those 6 packs in 1 pack. Sometimes they annoy you. Put it together in a 6-pack again. It is possible it can go in there. We're looking at self-care. We're looking at self-image. We're looking at your mental framework. We are actually looking at a positive environment. Who are my friends? What music do I listen to? This is stay positive, even when things look bad. And I'll tell you, when you come into an interview and we interview you, we are looking at your attitude. We do not want to hear all the troubles you face in your life. We want to hear the successes. Are you able to look at the crowd and you can actually see the silver lining? This is very, very important, okay? So this is very, very, very important for you. And we are looking at where are the resources? Where is the place to invest? And there are many places. You can read a motivational book, which costs you money. You can read an autobiography. You can read a biography. You can listen to audios. You can go to speaking forums. You can attend a seminar, you can buy music, you can listen to, you can have positive comrades, you can keep positive company, you can have a confidant, you buy them tea, okay, a mentor. Sometimes you need to go to a counselor because you have fears and you never have an idea where they came from. You have an inferiority complex that you don't know where it came from. You go to a counselor, you get that sorted out for you. You must enjoy a self-talk. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Say, this guy is great. This girl is beautiful. Forget, the beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Give yourself that confidence. Go to the gym. Even if they close the gym now, those estate roads where you are, shape yourself, stay good, okay? When they open up, go for the sauna. Go to the salon. Shape yourself. Take a holiday. Take a retreat. Have me time for yourself. To pray, to do yoga, to do all those things that you can do. Exercises, have fun time you can laugh and your chest opens up. That's what loving yourself is, and that's where attitude comes from. This world is not looking for gloomy people. There are enough gloomy people. Be the bright person, be the morning star. And there are many people who want to deal with a morning star. When I'm doing business, I want to deal with brighter guys. Even when there are problems, we can surmount. invest in your attitude. Very, very key. And those three now make your human intellectual capital. And those ones, once you have them, they will never go away. If you're a salesman and you're sharp, you have the knowledge, you have the skills to sell, and you have the attitude. When you come in front of the customer, you are the type of guy who says, don't worry the problem you have, we'll look for a solution. Okay? And if the person doesn't buy, you actually almost give them a high five. Thank you for not buying. You've given me a chance to go and look for the next person who's going to buy. Whichever area you are, you have to be positive, because positivity radiates positivity, attracts positivity. And I think we've seen how to invest in that. So let's go to social capital. And social capital, I said two things: teamwork, the ability to work with others. You are not an island. You cannot be able to move the world alone. You need synergy. Okay, you need to work along other people, whether you like them or you don't like them. Okay, and we are going to look at what is it that stops you from being a good team player, and that's what you're working on. You're working on stress management, because stress makes you a bad team player. You have unnecessary anger, you have fatigue, you have laziness. That's not a good member of the team. And so when you invest in dealing with your stress, in your exercises, in going to the psychologist, to the therapist, when you're looking at motivational issues, you're taking out the stress, that makes you a good team player. You're looking at your antisocial behavior. What's your antisocial behavior? Inferiority complex, fear, backbiting other people. Okay? You know, the things that you don't like, those are the things you're working around. You're working on anger management. When when you get unnecessarily angry, nobody wants you to be part of that team. And those things are going to cost you money. We're looking at your people skills, handling different people at different ages. We're looking at emotional intelligence, dealing with your own, perceiving and dealing with your own emotions, perceiving and dealing with the emotions of others successfully without having issues. We're looking at you going out when they open up the space, drinking coffee. When they say at the office, let's buy flowers for somebody in hospital, be part of that. When people say, let's go for nyama, be part of that. When people say, let's go to the wedding, be part of that. It's going to cost you money, but you're going to be a team player. Being a team player makes it possible for you to earn more money, because you get to know more ideas from your team members, you get the energy to move to the next level. So always aspire to become a team player. If you are a loner, look for how to deal with your being a loner. That might need you to go to a psychologist to sort out those. If you have inferiority complex, if you have anger issues, if you have stress, you might have to look for how to deal with your stress. Remove the stress. Look at the stressors and remove them. And that makes you a better team player. You're going to make much more money if you're a team player. If you're not in a chama, you're missing out. If you're not in an investment group, you're missing out. If you're not in a circle, you're missing out, because you're not playing the team game. You must be in the team game. And the last area we want to invest in is networks. I said your net worth is a function of your network. And in this country where I live in, it's not what you know, it is who you know. By the way, if you're looking out for a job, do you know only 20% of jobs are advertised? 80% are not. And 80% are the jobs you're going to get with a referral. Somebody knows you and they refer you somewhere. If you're in the business arena like me, the businesses that actually come through are the ones that come from referrals. We are looking at you having a bigger footprint, having other people selling for you, having other people putting a case for you. And we're looking at how can you be having impact and influence on others. And this is why we have to do a few things. You're wondering, how do I invest in networking? This is why we do volunteering. You become a volunteer. If you have a child in school and they're asking for somebody to be a volunteer, class volunteer in the PTA, please, next time they open schools and they're looking for that, shoot your hand up in the air, because that brings you to the table. And in the table, you find other leaders. So if you've been looking out for the manager of this company, or you've been looking for the owner of that business, you meet them in that meeting. They don't have the PA, they do not have the secretary, they don't have the watchman. You're talking to them human being to human being. So you get to know more people in volunteering. You can volunteer at school, you can volunteer at church. I want you to become a member of the Security or Welfare Committee in the estate where you live in. You will get to know the power there is in the estate where you are. So volunteering is one. Join organizations that help out. What are you investing? You're investing your time, you're investing your intellect. Volunteer to go to the school where you came from. I know you guys have done well. You formed a WhatsApp group and you're still laughing at how bad the windows or the structures for the school are. I'm not saying take your money. Maybe one of these days, just go and talk to those kids. You might motivate them. You might fire them out to become better people in society. We're looking at you building networks, coming to the table, participating in social events, whether they are online now, whether they are offline, social events, be at the wedding. By the way, if you are single and you're looking to get married, I know you need to go to the wedding because that's where people are looking for each other. You will never get one when you stay away. So go for social events, participate. It's going to cost you money. When you go for a road trip with your colleagues, it's going to cost you money. When you go to an excursion in Ngong with your friends, it's going to cost you money. When you go to Longonot, if you decide to go with your friends to Dubai, it's going to cost you money. But that's what you're investing to build your network. The gym where you go, you're not the only one going to the gym. Even now when you're doing gym around your estate, you're not the only one, and you get to know other gymmers. Gymmers are good people. They are positive people. They are people outward looking, and they're happy to meet other people like them. And eventually when they open up, I want to say, join the members club. They are expensive, I know. If you want to join Parkland Sports Club, it's going to cost you what? 600,000. If you want to join Mudaiga, it's going to cost you more. Whatever membership club there is, it's going to cost you money. But you know what? All the big boys and big girls meet there in the evening. They actually go to transact business and they sit as equals. When they go to the sauna, when they go for massage, they simply come with the bathing suit. They are all equal. And that's how you meet all the people who count. And you'll be surprised the information you're going to have at hand. Like I said, only 20% of the jobs are advertised. The balance are there. And if you're in business, yes, invest your money in networking. I want to urge you to go to Business Network International forums. Here you even have to buy your own breakfast. You have to pay a membership club. But what is the work we do at BNI? We come in and meet in the morning and we actually help each other in the business. And even now when we are not able to meet physically, we meet like we are here. And you come and say, this is the help I'm going to look for. I want to do some business with KQ. And I tell you, don't worry. You know that man called Aran Kiravuka? We went to school with him. I'll look for a way for you to see him. And you have many doors that have been opened for you. And I'm not talking about being corrupt. I am not talking about looking for networks. I'm looking for positive networks. Because I want to say this, we are looking to earn money. We are not looking to make money. There are only two people who make money, government and outlaws, criminals. Everybody else earns money. So if you're looking to earning money, my suggestion is very simple. Invest in yourself. Invest in your knowledge. Invest in your skills. Invest in your attitude. Invest in your teamwork. Invest in your networks. And once you have all these, when you have your knowledge, when you have your skills, you have your talents, you have all those things, you can actually make money. You can become a speaker and people will pay you for speaking. You guys pay Churchill a lot of money. What does he do? He uses his skill to excite you. Okay? You can teach people one than the other, and there are many people who want to learn. You can write a book. You can be a columnist. You can actually write a blog. You can actually coach somebody else. You can actually set up an e-school. You can get a franchise. I can't stop. And one of these other days, we are going to come and talk about something called shape. Identifying where you are strong so that when you're focusing those 5 things, you focus them on where you're strong. Shape. So that we are looking at from the bottom, your experience. The P is for your personality. The A is for your abilities. H is for your heart or your passions. And S is your spirituality, your moral guide. Once you identify yourself in that space, you'll be surprised how fast you move, whether you're an employee or whether you're self-employed. And there's no harm. You can actually be both. You're employed, but you have a side hustle. So I want to suggest tonight, invest in those 5 areas, and there's no doubt you are going to be in a new spectrum, in a new field. Thank you very much for listening. I think I'll still be around just in case there are questions for me.